Well, first to just give Boston credit on the way that, they played. And I thought our guys competed at the same level. It was clear, at the beginning of the game that it was going to be, a battle. And a lot of plays made, on both sides. Obviously, Tatum and Brown were a handful, which, we expect. And we blitzed their pick and roll. We hit them from the, high quadrant, and we hit them on the dribble, hit them on the pass. And, when we didn't, they were able to make plays. And when we did, you're susceptible to the three. And, we had some success in all those situations when they missed. But they had some guys hit some big shots as well. But we were right there. So it's a tough game.
Hey, Quinn, what do you say to your guys in the locker room after a game like this where they fought their butts off and, just didn't get there right at the end and now the season's done?
Yeah, it just really, I've said, for a while, some of you that have covered us for, the last couple months, that, we were wanting to be, our goal was to be the best version of ourselves at the end of the year. And I thought that, that continued from the regular season, through the playoffs. And you saw, a group that was connected. Different guys came up big in different games. I thought that this is a tough team to guard. And for the most part, I thought, we executed. And sometimes even when you execute, these guys are good enough to make plays. And then, the way that we played together on the offensive end. But what I told him was that I'm proud to have the opportunity to coach him. And, we talked about communicating, being competitive, and being connected. And I thought we were all three of those things.
Quinn, just the start, Trae had 25 points in the first half and came out in the second half I think it was 5. Was it just the way that Boston was guarding him a little bit? Were they doubling him a little bit more?
Yeah, they started trapping him a little bit. It's when we got DJ back in the game to give us another ball handler against the trap. There's sometimes, he had a couple of his best looks late, and I don't think he was worn down or tired. I think he just, occasionally guys miss a shot, and in Trey's case, we're used to seeing him hit big shots, and he hit some big shots tonight too, to get us in that position. And we had a number of guys that, had some really good looks late. Hunt stepped in and made a big one for us, but we scoring against them. The last 3-4 minutes of the game is gonna have to score, and we got to the rim a couple times and didn't score, and we had that one possession on the side out. Only had one timeout left. We used another one about 1:30 to try to get control of the game, so we'd have a chance late. And I thought, when we were, you make a decision. You've got two players in Tatum and Brown that even when you're on them, they have ability to rise up, and they were both doing that. So when we did hit them and tried to commit 2 to the ball, I thought Marcus Smart made a great pass to the corner. We had 2 guys help, being aggressive and trying to protect the rim, and Al made a big shot. There were a number of plays like that, and I thought Trae, in addition to our whole team, just competed, and in the end, that's all you can ask for.
Quinn, kind of following that up, it sounds strange to ask this question after an opening series loss, but given sort of the state of things when you first stepped in and where you were, do you actually come out of the series sort of feeling good about things to a degree, about maybe potentially where things are headed?
Yeah, it's hard for any of us right now to feel that, but I think I feel good about how we competed and how we played. Going up and winning that game, the other night in Boston showed a lot about our team, the character of our team, and I'm sure we'll have a chance to process everything and digest it. And, in the next couple of days, I'll have a better feel for that.
And following up with another strangely timed question, but do you feel in your 25 to 30 games, whatever it was that you coached, that you got a pretty good base of knowledge for maybe what you have and where you need to go with this roster? Yeah,
to the extent that, I can give perceptions of the team, right now, I feel really connected to this group. And anytime you get a chance to be in the foxhole with a group of guys, that's the result. And same thing with our staff. I feel really, I've said this I think before, but I can't emphasize it enough. The guys on the staff, for them to embrace me, and our team wouldn't be in this series the way we were not for, our entire staff. Joe and Longo and Mel, and particularly the guys at the bench, but Nick and Matt and Tim and Paul. The guys just were really, really supportive of me and supportive of our team. And, I think that group, as much as anything, really, we came together. And that's an unusual situation for all of us. As I said, I need a chance to process this whole thing, but that's, those are the first impressions that I have, and the place I go when I think about the last couple of months.
Coach, what was your message to DeJounte after the first half? Didn't score any points, but what was the message to him to keep him focused in the game?
He's not someone that I needed to say a lot to. It's more of a kind of eye contact and a nod, and he's such a competitor. And, I think there's always stretches of the game that are tougher than others. And I just think he got a feel as the game went on, got in the deep paint, got to the rim, hit a couple shots, and he's one of the guys that our backcourt's fun to coach, and because they've both been really committed to what we're doing, and the communication that I was able to have with those two guys in particular, not just practice, all the other times you touch guys, but during the game, and to the extent that sometimes they just need encouragement, and got plenty of confidence, and let them know to keep attacking. And that's what we need to do. That's what DeJounte needs to do. That's what he did.
Any last questions? All right. Thanks,
okay. Thank you. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Trey, not the end that you guys were looking for, but just out of curiosity, when you look at the difference between the first and the second halves, just what were the Celtics doing a little bit differently that made it a little tougher for you to find the basket?
Marcus was being way more aggressive as far as and he wasn't leaving me as much, going to help, and because early in the first half they were playing more team defense, and when he was helping, I was able to catch the ball with a lot of dribble and attack right away and create some space that way. But in the second half, he was more just connected to me, and when I didn't have the ball, he was still facing me and still connected to me. And I think they just picked up the physicality and things like that, and the rest were allowing them to play and things like that, so it was in their favor. So, it's tough.
You talked a lot about this team not being able to make mistakes against a Celtics team like that. What did you take away from this series that, can help you guys as you move forward?
There's a lot. The team we were playing tonight was, probably now the favorites. What I'm saying? They've been playing really well all year. They got a mixture of veterans and a mixture of young players. They have a goal of winning the championship, and really that's their main goal. And coming off their finals, run, you can tell they've been there before. And when you got vets like that and guys around that are telling the young guys and making sure everybody's in their places, it makes it a lot easier. And so you can just tell they got a team around them that they got a mixture of everything. So from starters to coming off the bench, and you just got to tip their hat sometimes when they make shots. And Jalen and Jason, those dudes, made some plays tonight. So you just got to tip their hat sometimes and give credit where it's due.
Trey, I know it's tough because you just lost a playoff series, but what have these last 6-8 weeks been like for you playing under Quin, and what are your thoughts on the future?
I mean, Quin is the future. I mean, I believe with him here, the city's going to win a championship, and it's just about bringing in the right pieces for him. And I mean, him obviously getting a full summer to bring in his people and training camp to put in what he wants to put in. It's kind of tough when you get in the position halfway through the year and you kind of want to put in your stuff, but we're kind of already halfway through the year and everybody's played 40, 50 games or 30 games, how many we were played at that point, but I think he's going to be great for us, and I'm excited for the future with him.
Trey, take us through that last 4 minutes of the game. It was like, I think he was up by 1, and then what changed defensive-wise, offensive-wise? What changed to turn the game in their favor?
I mean, like, when you hit some tough shots, I think Jalen hit a big 3 in front of our bench. I think it was either tied or I think it was probably tied. And momentum plays like that, they hurt. I mean, just like when we were in last game, I mean, a couple of my threes, they were up 13, but a couple of threes can hurt. And I mean, pull the momentum the other way, and that's kind of what happened tonight. And just certain things, like we didn't have a side out of bounds play in that corner. I mean, we've never went over practice and that stuff. So certain situations, it was just tough tonight. And but you got to give them credit; they came ready to play.
Trey, just big picture though, how do you sum up this season as a whole? Not just the last few games with parts with Quin, but the whole season, the whole.
I mean, we could not even have made the playoffs. I mean, it could have been worse. I think for us, we got to focus on the future now, and we can't worry about the past and what all went on throughout the season, all the nonsense and stuff. We got to focus on the future and what we got going. And I mean, I think we showed strides. I think we showed moments what we can do with Quin as our coach and things like that. So I'm excited for the future.
Trey, you've stated a few times about Quin being the future and the future. Over the last few weeks, how would you say your game has grown under Coach Snyder and maybe some things in which he's instilled in you for the future?
I mean, me and Q, constantly are talking on things I can be better at, things I can improve at, and things that I'm doing good at that he wants me to keep doing. And little things like, I mean, obviously picking up full court and just even showing and things like that, and little things that people may not even notice that we talk about. I've gotten better at, and I'm just constantly thinking about. If I make a mistake, I'll apologize. I'm not going to be perfect all the time right now, but there's some things I'm going to focus on going into the summer and going into next season that I'm looking forward to, like, really working with them. And because we're both, I mean, I feel like we're both, I mean, he's really smart. I mean, I consider myself very smart too. So, I mean, the positions that he puts our teammates in, it makes it a lot easier for me. So I'm looking forward to really working with him.
Trey, you talk about the things that you improved on. How pleased are you with your improvement on defense? Because it seemed like that really picked up in the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season.
I'm happy, but to be honest, like I said at the beginning of the year, it's more about all effort. And I think, for me, I just gave more effort later in the year, and it just really showed. And like when it gets closer to that time, you gotta give more. So I just try to give more throughout the season, and just try and do that.
One more to Alice.
Trey, you talk about all the talent that Boston, of course, has, and you talk about Quin being the future. But what do you feel like is missing for you guys on maybe this roster to be able to take that next step and to be able to pursue a championship just like Boston?
That's a question for Landry. I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and play GM. That's a question for Landry and Quin and those guys. So I just know. I mean, I trust him and I trust those guys. That we're going to have a team next year that it should be looked at as. I want to be looked at as a team that should come in and win a championship. You know what I'm saying? Not just be in the picture, just be in the running. Like I want to come into the season like as a team that people look at that they can win or they got a chance. So that's my whole focus and my mindset, and that's just the plan too. Gotcha.
John, it's not the ending that you guys would have wanted, but as far as what you noticed with how they maybe turned up the intensity in the second half, what were your observations on that?
They did turn up their intensity. I thought we turned up our intensity as well. But they have some tough shot makers over there. They had some tough shots, made some plays down the stretch. I don't think there was anything specifically that I can point to where they were just exposing us on. Good team makes plays, and they did that down the stretch, and it's tough.
And Quin has talked a lot about you guys being the best version of yourselves, and he said that it carried through from the regular season when he took over through the postseason. Just how do you feel like you guys have maybe become the better version of yourself since the start of the year?
Yeah, everybody wants instant results, but it takes time. We added a lot into our rotation, into our roster. Obviously, we're extremely talented and young as well, so it's not as easy as it might look on paper, but we do our best to compete, and I do my best as a leader to try to help improve myself and guys where I can, as well as coach and the entire team. I feel like we have an ecosystem that wants to get better. You know what I mean? And it takes time. It's not an overnight thing.
And you being a leader for this team, what do you say after a loss like this? You guys just fought. 22 lead changes. It was a phenomenal game to watch, not the result you wanted. But what do you say to the guys in the locker room after a loss like this?
I just try to be myself. I try to laugh and joke, put a smile on guys' faces regardless, because, we're blessed at the end of the day, outside of this job and the relationships we have. They mean a lot to me. So I do my best to try to just continue to spread positive energy in as many ways as I can, and that's all I really did.
And after, a series like this too, I know it's kind of hard to digest it all at once, but with the way you guys fought tonight, how much confidence does that give you in this group for next season, to build off of something like that?
Yeah, it gives us confidence for sure. I feel like it just solidifies what we knew we could do. Obviously, we fell short of what we want, that Larry O'Brien trophy. But we know that, we're built for this, and we're going to be more ready the next time.
I'm just curious, though, how you sum up the whole year, kind of back and forth, right around 500 for much of the year, and then at the end here, you're pushing the Celtics, right to the edge. How do you sum up the whole season?
It's tough, ups and downs. I feel like you guys understand that in the middle is the toughest place to be. When you're up super high or down super low, you have a clearer vision of what you want to accomplish. When you're just maintaining in that middle, takes a little bit more self-reflection to just keep going. And it's not easy winning a game, losing a game, winning a game, losing a game, up, down. It's hard. It's hard on our mental, but again, to the credit of our talent on our team and the will to win and to get better, we just try to push through and play good basketball. Thanks, JC. Appreciate it, y'all.